Hello there, YouTube. Devin here again. Today I have another helmet video for you, and it's on a pretty interesting helmet that I've had for a while. And it's got kind of a little bit of a weird history to it, and a bunch of other kind of weird type of stuff. It's a very, very kind of different helmet, and that would be an Italian paratrooper helmet. Now this is actually the later model. But there is an earlier model, and really all that changed was the chin strap. The chin strap would have been leather, and it would have been basically part of the liner rather than being kind of separate and easily removable. If it was damaged, you'd have to kind of remove the whole liner in order to replace the chin strap, which probably wasn't a very good idea back in the 40s when this helmet came out, because this helmet originally was the M42 for 1942. It is actually based off of a Czech design, as you can see here, by the kind of M32 kind of the Czech Model 32 helmet, but it is also kind of based off of the Italian M33 helmet. Now the reason was they couldn't use the M33 helmet for airborne operations is because airborne troops were kind of in their infancy, and they needed a lot of extra padding and protection and everything in order to actually be able to keep their head safe in a jump environment. So you needed this extra padding in case you were to land funny, or the plane's obviously shaking a lot and stuff like that, and you just needed that extra bump protection. So they really couldn't find a good way to do that with the M33. So they kind of borrowed a design from their neighbors to the north, pretty much, and that would be the Czech design. So it's kind of based off of the eggshell helmet. It's kind of that same shape. It's flat along the bottom, just like that too. It's a little bit smaller in profile, but that's usually a lot of airborne helmets are kind of smaller in profile for reasons so they don't catch on equipment and whatnot. It uses the same rivets that the Italian M33 used, except now it has 4 of them. And it has 2 little vent holes that are just little holes pressed through the shell to obviously aid in evaporation of sweat and everything like that. The Italians tended to work in a lot of subtropical, kind of humid, warmer environments, so that was probably a pretty nice feature. Considering this helmet does have a lot of padding, it probably got quite warm pretty quick. And like I said, the original 1942 ones would have had a leather chin strap and chin cup assembly rather than this canvas one. And then in 1960, basically the only update they did was they added kind of bales, as you can see here, and a cotton chin strap to it. And these were used for, I can't even find a date when they were pressed out. They could even really still be in use to some degree. I know they were probably in use with training regiments, like Italian airborne training regiments into the 80s for a very long time. So this helmet has like a 40-year service life. Which is a little out there and a little bit different. It is kind of a pain in the ass to put on and everything like that, but this helmet served all the way through World War II and into the Cold War, and obviously well into the Cold War and everything like that. The Italians have never been a super big military force to be reckoned with, but they did use a lot of World War II technology for a long time. You see Carcanos in use with the Italians until the 70s. You see M33 helmets in use until the 70s and stuff like that. It doesn't surprise me that this was also used that long and everything like that. It's a very, very interesting design and kind of weird shape. And it's a really comfortable helmet. There's a lot of weird technology into it. And they're actually kind of rare, at least in North America nowadays. So I was really glad to pick this up for fairly cheap. It's actually one of the ones I have for sale if somebody is interested in purchasing this helmet. It's one that I have for sale. I'm not quite sure on what I want for it yet, but make me an offer and I can decide. It's in pretty good shape, as we can see, and it's in a kind of larger size. It fits me, and I have a size 58 head. There's a lot of them you see are in smaller sizes, so it's kind of hard to find one in a larger size like this. And as you can see, the liner's actually fairly clean and everything when we'll flip the camera around here. Which we will do right now. Alrighty, so here we are looking at the liner of the helmet here, and you can kind of see very apparent where kind of more of that Czech M42 helmet shape kind of came from. The chin strap is right here. I just have moved it out of the way. I removed one of the bales so that we could see the liner a little better. So I just unthreaded this from one of the bales. There's nothing special about the chin strap. It's just a herringbone piece of cotton with a leather chin cup. This one's actually very clean. But as you can see here, the liner is in this series of kind of intricate leather pads that are foam covered. So as you can see there, would be the foam underneath it, and this foam isn't collapsed. This is actually still really supple, spongy foam, which is another thing you don't normally see in these. They're usually totally worn out. Even the crown pad has a lot of nice sponge to it. It is a size 57, but like I said, it fits me, and I wear a 58. But you can see here that the liner is all one piece, and right here you can see that there's this metal bracket that goes all the way around. So the liner is attached to this metal bracket, and then this metal bracket is riveted in place to the shell. So the shell is just your kind of normal standard M42, basically, like check helmet, just a little bit smaller. It's just a steel bowl that they riveted all these things into. Even the bales are affixed to the liner band for the chin strap. Like normally the leather would have just been directly riveted on the original 42. Again, this is the M42 60. The original leather chin strap would have just been riveted to the liner band there, as you can see. And then they just replaced that with bales to make it so that way the chin strap, the thing that wore out on the helmet first, could be easily replaced. And then here you can see the fact that it has this pad that they added after kind of testing the helmet. This brow pad, as you can see, sticks down below the lip of the helmet, and that is because if the helmet was to rock forward for some reason during flight, like if your helmet wasn't quite too adjusted, or like during falling, if it was able to come loose, the helmet wouldn't slide off your head and hit you in the nose and break your nose. So they put this leather pad on there for that, so it wouldn't slide down your face and break your nose or anything else like that. So interesting design, really comfortable helmet. Actually, it breathes surprisingly well with all these nice air channels and stuff they have in the pad system and everything. It breathes a lot better than a lot of kind of modern helmets or a lot of other helmets of the era, and being incredibly more comfortable. This is a helmet you could probably wear all day and be pretty all right with. It's not super heavy compared to a lot of other designs of the same era and everything like that, and all this extra padding and stuff like that makes it just actually really nice to wear. All that other good stuff. It's a pretty neat, interesting helmet as far as the history goes. It's not really well storied, so it's not really super desirable either, because they were basically used into oblivion. There isn't much of them left, and the Italian airborne troops really don't have that storied of a history or long history of use. So this helmet isn't actually one that a lot of people really know exists. So there's not really a super ton of information or cool pictures or anything like that of them out there. But they're still interesting nonetheless. So I'll flip it back around here now, the camera, and we'll show you how it looks being worn and show you if the different angles and stuff like that of it. And then we'll wrap up the video. Alrighty, so here we go. Again, we have the M42 60 here, and I'm going to put the chin strap back in it and put it on, and we'll see how it looks being worn. At least it's a fairly easy chin strap to kind of adjust and everything, but they are a pain in the ass to put on, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You have this back strap here that goes towards the rear bale of the helmet. You need to undo this strap in order to put it on, which is kind of like the early Orlight helmets and stuff like that. It's a pain in the ass to put on because you have to like slide your head through a loop, okay, and then you have to take that and reach around the back of your head and try to do up this little liner here and make sure it's the right direction and everything, which can be a pain in the ass within itself, obviously. And I don't know why they didn't just have like a buckle on it or something. It probably would have been a hell of a lot nicer. But once you get used to it, it's actually not so bad. And then you can just adjust the front straps here by pulling down on those tails. So this is what it would have looked like. It's obviously very high sitting. and that's for a reason. That it's to obviously allow you to still be able to hear and everything like that, and so the skirt and everything in the helmet doesn't catch on your gear and whatnot. So this is what it would look like from the front, from the side, from the rear. As you could tell with the really high skirt, there isn't any bite onto it, so it won't catch on gear. It doesn't cut into your neck or anything like that. It's very, very comfortable. It probably really sucked to wear in a cold environment because, once again, it doesn't offer a lot of coverage or protection from wind or anything. It's also very, very tight fitting to the head. It's supposed to be, though, to provide you that, impact protection that you really need in a kind of early type jump environment. It's a really, really comfortable helmet, though, actually. And I was actually kind of shocked when I got it how comfortable it was and why this design didn't permeate further. This is actually more comfortable than the German and the American paratrooper helmets of World War II. So I don't know why more designs and stuff didn't go based off of this, because it's actually a genuinely really, really good design. Very, very complicated to make, which is kind of a shock for Italy to have something that's complicated to make. Normally they tend to do stuff within their means, but I could tell why they were being a little bit ambitious back in that time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you like, comment, subscribe, all that other good stuff. If you did actually enjoy something or learn something in this video, it's a neat piece of history to see, although not the most storied, so there's not a ton of history on it. It is still a piece of history, and it is a very kind of interesting, cool piece of history, I think anyways, especially if you're Italian, and all that other good jazz. But it also really, really helps me in the algorithms if you like, comment, and subscribe and stuff like that, which helps with the YouTube ad money and stuff, obviously, especially since YouTube's been down here the last couple of days, kind of intermittently with a bunch of different stuff. Ad revenue's been pretty low because of that. But if you want to support the channel in some way or form, I've got links to the Patreon. It'll be in the description if that's something that interests you. And if you do become a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month, you can join the Discord, which is this cult that I run of people that have all this cool stuff to show, and we talk about everything under the sun in there, and it's never a dull moment, really. It's quite entertaining. So, but thank you all for watching. Thank all of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that other good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. We did just cross 3,000 subscribers the other day, which is fantastic. We did that in a little less than a year from when I had 2,000. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video and all that other good stuff, and if you are tempted to become a Patreon supporter, means the world to me, especially right now and the way the world is. If you're willing to give a little bit, it helps me a lot and really goes a long way to support the channel. So stay tuned for the next video, all that other guys. I'm gonna go off and go do some deer hunting now and all that other good jazz. So take it easy, and hopefully I can see all of you in the future. Bye bye now.